Hi, I am PixelPia. To go through all the settings in Gmail can be a bit overwhelming. In my last video, we went over the 31 settings just under General. And today, we're going to continue and take a quick look at the rest of the settings. So let's move over to my computer. So here we are in settings. And as I said, in my last video, we went over all the things under General. So we're going to start by looking at labels here. I just have the labels that were created by Gmail itself. If you create your own labels, they will also show up here. And what you can do under labels is to choose whether a label should be shown or hidden in the left-hand side here. So this just goes through all the labels and all the categories you have, and you decide whether you want them shown or hidden. Now let's take a look at inbox. First we have inbox types, and you can choose default. You can choose to show your inbox with the important first, things you have marked as important, unread, starred, priority inbox, or you can have multiple inboxes. And the categories, you can choose what of the 4 categories here you want shown. You can choose to include your star message in primary, and you can enable bundling on top of promo emails. And when you hover over this, you see a little example what that means down on the right-hand side here. I know it's hard to see when I have the dark mode on, but you will see it better on your own computer. Reading pan, you can choose to enable the reading pan so you don't have to open an email to read it. And if you have that enabled, you can choose the position, either no split, right of inbox, or below the inbox. Then you have importance marker, and that shows marker arrows when a message is marked as important, or you can have no markers. And then you can choose either to use past action to predict if a message is important, Gmail learn as you use this, or do not use past action. And you can override filters or don't override filters. And filters we will talk more about later. Then we come to accounts and import. First we have change password and change recovery options. And you can also reach all your Google settings from here. If you are using Gmail for work, that requires you to buy email workspace. I don't have that on this account, but you can learn more about it if you're interested. Important mail and contacts. Here you can import mail and contacts from other accounts, and we will look later on this setting how you can import an account, which you must have done to use this import mail and contacts. Send mail as, you can add another email address as a sender, so you can choose who is sending an email. Check mail from other accounts. This is where you add a mail account by clicking there. I am going to do that in my next video to go through it in detail how you do this. If we take a look here at my other account on the left-hand side, you can see under labels here, I have a lot of different accounts that I have added on. So email sent to pia@pixelpia.com ends up in my Gmail inbox. So I don't have to open a separate email program. Let me show you how that looks. Here you can see all the accounts I have added in my main Gmail account. So when I get email to any of these addresses, they show up here as well. And I can also send as all of this from this account. So I will go through all of that in detail in my next video, how to set that up. And then mark conversation as read when opened or leave conversation as unread when opened. And then sender information. Show this address and the person who sent it, or show this address only. And then you can add another account if you have worked with someone and both of you use the same Gmail. For example, you have, like in this case, I have set up this Gmail account for my podcast. And I have added myself, my main account here, to this account. So if I'm logged in at my main Gmail account, I can use this. Then we have filters and blocked addresses, and they are exactly that. If you have blocked an email address, it will show up here. And here you can also create filters. We will create filters next time when we set up several accounts. Then we have forwarding and pop IMAP. This is when you want mail that comes into your Gmail to go somewhere else. For example, I want to forward all my email that comes into this account to my PixelPia@gmail.com. Then I have to add that address here. And then we have POP or IMAP. We can enable those, and that means that we can set up so all our Gmail email, incoming email, go to an email software. For example, if I want to use Windows email software or another email software instead of logging into my Gmail account, I can use that. But I must enable either POP or IMAP. The difference between the two is that IMAP is with no delay. For POP, they first go to my Gmail, and then I set up how often it will check for email from my POP account. I can have every 5 minutes, every 15 minutes, many different options how often. And you can also choose, as you see here, when messages are accessed with a POP account, you can keep a copy in the inbox, or you can mark Gmail's copy as read, archive it, or delete it. And you can, when you set up this, you can choose to enable it for all mail or for mail that arrives from now on. That is for the POP. And the same with IMAP. You can choose to auto expunge, it's immediately go to the mail client you have set up, or not at all expunge it from Gmail. So you have a copy left here. When a message is marked as deleted or expunged from the last visible IMAP folder, you can choose to archive it, move the message to trash, or delete it forever. And you can set up a limit for how much email. You have the instructions for how to turn it on and the settings you need, like incoming mail, what server you should use and what port, and outgoing mail, what you need to set up. Then we have add-ons. And I'm not going to talk about add-ons at all in this basic series, but we will come back to that later on. These are little add-ons that can help you with all kinds of tasks. There are a lot of third-party add-ons you can use. Chat and Meet is where you decide whether you want your Google Chat on or off, and whether you want Meet in the main menu or hide it. Under Advanced, you can just choose to enable or disable certain things like Auto Advance, templates, custom keyboard shortcut, right side chat. Offline, you can enable offline and choose. That means that if you are offline, you can write an email to someone or respond to an email and it will be saved in the outgoing folder. And as soon as you have connected to the internet again, it will be sent. You can either keep the data on your computer or remove offline from your computer when you log out. And you can choose whether to download attachments or not. And the last setting we have is themes, where you can choose a theme. I showed this in my very first Gmail tutorial. So that, my friends, now we have looked at all the different settings in Gmail. As I said, next time we will go through how to add a mail account in detail and how to add labels to that account and other types of labels. We will also look at how to set up a PUP or IMAP to use a separate mail client instead of logging into Gmail on the web or use our app. So if that is something that you are interested in, I suggest that you hit the little button below so you get notified. Until next time, bye!